Superhero movies back in the days could go only in two directions. Either they were absolute masterpieces or absolute
Piece of dog shit.
In the same year, we were able to get such masterpieces like X-Men 2 or monstrous abominations like the Daredevil. I won't pretend there were some movies that had great potential that were even underappreciated, I say, like Hulk, that to this day hold special place in my heart. I mean, okay, the movie was kinda boring and CGI is a little dated, but man, this is fucking cool. I mean, 8-year-old me was losing his shit while watching these scenes. Indeed, those were the times when Marvel movies were just finding its ground. The best example of that balance between good and bad movies was undeniably Blade franchise, especially when you compare the second movie directed by Guillermo del Toro, that despite years still holds up as the absolute cinema, and Blade Trinity. Blade Trinity, the movie which making was more interesting than the movie itself. First of all, full Blade movie's premise is not complicated or deep, like Angry Hulk that tried to be a blockbuster and wreak tragedy in once, which raises questions why MCU has so much problem with developing Blade movie. It's a movie about guys slashing vampires with a sword at night, and the first two movies have done their best with that idea. Blade crushing the party in the first movie is still cool as fuck. It doesn't even seem dated. Scenery was never the most important thing in these movies. There were vampire villains having their vile vampire plans. There was Blade missing those plans while aura farming. These movies were all about the vibe. About Wesley Snipes throwing one-liners.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Then the question is, how the fuck they screwed up the third movie so much? How the fuck you mess up the movie where script is almost as important as realism in Fast and Furious movies? No, seriously, I'm asking the question now, because I don't know. Well, I tried to find the reasons. I watched the second movie and third one after another, and I realized the quality shift it is. The troubles with the film started on set. Wesley Snipes was constantly semi-sabotaging the production because he felt like the filmmakers were trying to wrap up his story and make the way for Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel characters. Hence he actively refused to film the scenes and appeared only for close-ups, while any other wide shot was filmed with his stunt double, which is terribly easy to notice if you pay attention. David S. Goyer said himself that the process of making this film was the worst time of his life, which says something. David S. Goyer conflict with Wesley Snipes actually was the plot itself. There is a story that one day on set they've let actors pick their own clothes, and Wesley Snipes from some reason picked a shirt with word garbage on it. Then he angrily came to David S. Goyer and started yelling that there's only one black guy in this movie and you gave him shirt with word garbage on it, you racist motherfucker, he said. And they started literally brawling on set. Goyer, apparently scared for his own safety on set, came to the night bar between the filming days and asked the group of motorcyclists to bodyguard him, and he showed up with them every day till the film was over. Snipes personally denied Sunday night this happened, but the fact the director felt the need to have bodyguards around himself since the situation said was definitely tense. Wesley Snipes' point of view is also understandable in some ways. He most likely felt the movie is going to be a disaster, and maybe that was his way of protest, I don't know. But Wesley Snipes' attitude is not the only thing that led to the movie fall. The vibe from the first two was completely gone. These films, despite simply action plot, had its mythic, gritty night vibe. Personally, I find it very similar to Max Payne. And then we have the third movie that becomes the standard action film, which vibe similar to, I don't know, The Room, maybe? It all became so corny without reason. They not even try to keep it serious anymore. Every while, vampire becomes word emo crackhead. I imagine them all saying fuck it and just roll with everything on set. To the point Wesley Snipes felt to be the only person that seemed to care about this movie. Whistler, the only interesting character in this film, played by light Chris Christopherson, dies at the beginning of the film. Second time in the franchise, by the way. This time for real. Not only that, we later find out he had a daughter, and a most lazy way of introduction of someone's daughter possible.
Who the hell are you people?
Well, my name is Hannibal King. This little hellion right here is Apkin.
Whistler's daughter.
We never get any suggestion he have a daughter. I mean, there was that speech in the first movie when he tells a story that his wife and daughter died by the hand of some vampire once. But they were dead. and indeed she is revealed to be his illegitimate daughter. This wouldn't even be so bad, but this introduction. Who the fuck Blade even know that? And a lot of people complain about Ryan Reynolds' character in this film, that his lines seemed out of place all the time. There's also a reason behind that. They literally didn't have that proper script in hand. Most of his lines were improvised, and honestly, he's one of the positive aspects of this movie. It was a good precursor for Deadpool, better than this obviously. It's impossible for me to hate Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds in the movie. Also, Parker Posey, which I personally love from Scream 3, is the other positive aspect of this movie for me. Also, there's a story behind Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes' funny beef on set. Snipes relied on intense method acting during this filming, famously never breaking the Blade persona, famously communicating with the crew only with the stick papers, and telling everyone to refer to him as the Vampire Slayer. Ryan Reynolds, trying to cope the tension, constantly improvised every line and joked in the most Ryan Reynolds way possible, which led to intense personality clash on set between deadly serious Snipes and Ryan Reynolds' comedic attitude, to the point when Ryan Reynolds himself noticed that
He hates me, doesn't he? Yeah.
they weren't in character, by the way. He also said that he never truly met Wesley Snipes on set, only the Blade persona, and he doesn't even know if Wesley Snipes likes him, but he's sure as hell Blade fucking hates him. However, they famously buried the hatchet on the set of Deadpool and Wolverine, admitting they were just joking around all the time.
We've been playing this for like 2 decades. We've actually liked each other the whole time.
Another reason why this movie seems lazy as fuck is the villain. And it's not the actor's fault. Dominic Purcell, that you might know from Prison Break, played surprisingly well with what he was given, but he wasn't given much. It's obvious his character didn't have any traits on depth. It looks like he was just told to stand there menacingly and look big. Like seriously, this guy is supposed to be the strongest vampire that ever lived, the first one. And he doesn't even turn into a folk, nothing. Nothing on him that says he's the strongest vampire ever. I mean, he turns into the demon at the end, but that's only for like 2 minutes, nothing more, before he dies. He can look like other people also, but that's kinda underused. Also, how the fuck he even know how Wester looked like? He's not even called Dracula, for some reason, he's just called Drake. I don't know, they were afraid it's gonna be campy or something. On the other hand, it's already the campiest movie ever, so even his introduction in the opening scene when we see the vampires opening his tomb and try to awaken him, we don't get any explanation why he's here, why was he dormant. We don't even know how they found him. We just hear,
So why here?
He would have been comfortable here.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
it's clear they had no idea what to do with his character. They just hired a muscular guy that happened to be Dominic Purcell and told him to pose. Which is sad because the previous two villains were exceptionally well made, especially Jared Nomak from the second movie, with his tragic story of being created, combined with his amazing design. Also the Deacon Frost from the first movie being arrogant, pure evil villain we love to hate. But honestly, I loved this movie as a kid. Once when I didn't see all the flaws of it, it was pretty enjoyable flick. Still is, actually. But when you look any closer on it, it sucks. From beginning to the end. But man, that's still Wesley Snipes as Blade. And I gotta be honest here, he still looks cool as hell. Even if he was not Wesley Snipes in every shot. Even if he didn't want it to open his eyes for the shot. So they had to add it in CGI. In this movie, you see he hates everybody and everything. And for real, Ryan Reynolds roasting Parker Posey is one of the reasons I watched this movie so much.
Being pumped through the building's air conditioning system, you cock-juggling thunder cunt!
Sadly, this film killed the franchise for good. Combine the facts of this film making only 132 million compared to 65 million budget says something. Extremely harsh critics' reviews didn't help, and the fourth movie never happened. But as I mentioned, Wesley Snipes returned as Blade for Deadpool and Wolverine, proving everybody that
There's only been one Blade. There's only ever gonna be one Blade.
that was, I gotta say, one of my favorites return that came off Multiverse Saga next to Tobey Maguire showing up in No Way Home. Because whatever happened on set on Third Blade, Wesley Snipes is still irreplaceable as this character, which got literally proved by Marvel deleting Planet Reboot. And I gotta say, I'm full of hope that one day we're gonna see Wesley Snipes' fourth movie as his big send-off. Idea that is actually supported by Ryan Reynolds even. And if not, maybe we'll see his one last dance in Avengers Secret Wars, where he'll most likely show up. Let me know what you think of the story behind Blade Trinity movie, and if you love this movie despite its visible flaws, just like me, or do you rather avoid that title?